What is going on, guys? It's your boy Big Dolan and welcome back to another Destiny exotic weapon tier list video. In this video we're going to be going over all of the exotic auto rifles, putting them into tiers, giving them ratings for both PvE and PvP. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. The first exotic auto rifle we're going to be taking a look at is the Hardlight. Now, a couple of benefits of using this weapon would be that all of the bullets actually ricochet off of hard surfaces, so you can actually bounce bullets off the floor, round corners, off of walls, and you can actually kill people by actually ricocheting the bullets off, which is a pretty nice feature of the weapon. And it also has glass half full on it, which is a decent perk for it, especially for an auto rifle. With the rate of fire of this actual weapon, you seem to get to glass half full to proc very often. Now, this weapon I would definitely recommend running maximum stability on to fix the recoil pattern, but for the ratings I'm giving this a C+ for both PvE and PvP. Next on the list is the Kuvasz Style. This thing is exactly what you would expect from an auto rifle. It's got multiple options. I think there's over 100 combinations of perk sets that you can actually do to this weapon. It can be changed into a pulse rifle or a scout rifle, but to me they're just very lackluster, and it definitely works best in its auto rifle form. The perk set that I have had the most actual success for is braced frame, counterbalance, and 900 rounds per minute. Definitely the best option, at least in my opinion. The ratings for this weapon, I'm actually going to give it a B for PvE and a B+ for PvP. Next auto rifle on the list is the Monte Carlo. Now, the unique thing on this weapon is dealing damage with this weapon actually reduces your melee cooldown, and each kill has a chance to immediately give you your melee cooldown. So it's actually a very funny weapon to use. I've actually been using it on my defender quite a bit. Especially if you run up, punch a shank, get your overshield, and then just spray all the other enemies and get your melee back. It's a hell of a lot of fun. Definitely recommend giving it a go. It's also very good on Night Stalker. Also, the ratings for this weapon is going to be a B for PvE and a B for PvP. Next on the list is the Supercell regime. Now, I've been wanting this weapon to be very good again for a very long time, but for me it's still a very lackluster auto rifle. I found myself having much more success with things like the Kuvasz Style on the Monte Carlo, so for me this weapon's getting a C+ for PvE and a B for PvP. Now, I actually use spinning up on my Supercell just because the focus fire option just reduces the time to kill so much. It's just really not worth using it, so definitely try the spinning up option. The thing that makes this exotic is the bottom half of the mag deals bonus damage, and it has a chance to return health after each kill. Next up on the list is the Supercell. What is there to say about this weapon other than that it's an absolute monster for PvE? This thing has a chance to chain lightning when two enemies are close together. Double kills with this weapon, charge your super and return ammo to the magazine, and it also deals arc damage, so for any arc burn activities that you may be doing, this would be a more than great option. The ratings that I've given this weapon is a A+ for PvE and a B+ for PvP. Next on the list is the Fabian strategy. This thing is an absolute beast for PvE also. Has increased handling, stability, and rate of fire when enemies are close. Plus, kills with this weapon actually reload a portion of the mag straight into your current magazine. Now, this thing is actually surprisingly decent. I've been using this a lot in Crucible as well recently, and it actually melts. It's actually surprisingly efficient for getting kills. The ratings for this weapon is an A- for PvE, and I've actually given it a B for PvP. We're getting into some of the raid weapons. We're going to start off with the Atheon's Epilogue. Again, this is the Adept version with the element. Now, this thing deals bonus damage to oracles within the Vault of Glass raid, so it would be a very good option for Vault of Glass. Also, it deals void burn damage, so again, for any void burn activities you may be doing, it would be a very good option. Now, this thing is probably one of the best bullet hose auto rifles I have used in Destiny in general. Very stable, very easy to use, glass half full on there as well. So huge magazine size of 60, definitely one of the best in my opinion. I'm going to be giving this a B+ for PvE and a B for PvP. Next on the list we have the Necrochasm. This thing did actually receive a buff in the Age of Triumph with the new Necrochasm quest that they added. This thing is actually now a beast. In my opinion, is an absolute monster. Melee kills with this weapon will actually reload a portion of your magazine, and it also just getting a kill now, not a precision kill like it used to be, just a kill in general will trigger a Cursed Thrall explosion. This weapon also deals arc damage, so again for any arc burn activities you may be doing, it will be a solid option for those. The ratings for this weapon, I've actually given it a A- for PvE and PvP. Next on the list we have the Abyss Defiant. This is the Crota's End Raid Auto Rifle. This thing deals bonus damage to Hive Mages, also has a chance to disorient Hive Wizards, and it does actually work on Omnigul. So again, if you're ever actually doing the Omnigul strike, if it's ever for a Nightfall and you want to sort of annoy her so she can't shoot you, this would definitely be a weapon for that. Also, it deals solo damage, so again, for any solo burn activities, this would be a very good option. I'm actually going to give this a B for PvE and a B- for PvP. Next on the list we have the Kingsfall Auto Rifle, the Anguish Dryston. Hopefully I pronounced that right, I didn't completely butcher the name. This weapon deals bonus damage against taken enemies, and it also deals arc damage, so again for any arc burn activities you may be doing, this would be a solid option. However, this weapon to me is probably by far the worst exotic auto rifle in the game, mainly because of the stability of it. Now, I do not run the increased stability down the middle. I think it's braced frame because it reduces your magazine size to 24, and I just think it's completely pointless. It's just, in general, it's just a bad auto rifle. The Zala Supercell is definitely a better option if you have it. This thing is just completely useless in my opinion. So for the ratings, I'm actually giving it a C for PvE and a C for PvP. Finally, last but not least, we have the Genesis Chain. This is the raid auto rifle from Wrath of the Machine. Now this weapon deals bonus damage to fallen enemies, also deals solo damage, so again for any solo burn activities you may be doing, it would be a solid option for those. Also, it has a perk on it called Focus Firefly, which is basically Firefly, but it only procs when you have the Focus Fire perk active on the weapon, when you're actually aiming down your sights, so do be careful of that. But this is by far one of the best auto rifles in the game as far as exotics go. Definitely, I've been using this weapon a lot in Crucible, and it actually does melt. Surprisingly, it's actually very good, so definitely give it a go if you haven't tried it already. The ratings for this weapon, I'm going to give it a A for PvP and PvE. Anyway guys, that is pretty much going to do it for the exotic auto rifle tier list video. One quick thing before I end the video that I want to say is that these ratings and reviews of these weapons are completely based on my opinion and my playtime with these weapons. If you disagree with anything I said in this video, that is completely fine. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Just don't be too harsh to me down in the comments. As always, I do always suggest going out to test each of these weapons yourself and try and see how they perform in your own hands and see how well you do with them. But anyway, hopefully this video does give you an actual idea on how each weapon performs. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel for future Destiny content. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.